All right, Baleba is the next player that United is looking to sign, and we've all known to it that United has gone ahead to contact the intermediaries. The CEO of Brighton has come up and obviously something to say about this deal. But here onto the United Matters channel, obviously we want to let you know what the latest update is. Baleba price to Man United has been officially revealed, and for anyone who really knows the price of these players, you obviously come out and ask yourself, will United really nod this price that has been revealed or put on the head of Baleba? All that and more into the comment or into the coming video in here. Rokan David is my name. Smash like button, comment and share. If you're only watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now, it's a Baleba story in here for you, as Sir Jim Ratcliffe comes in through and very many others will also come in through to see to it that all goes on to well as planned. So, the club of Manchester United is interested in Baleba, and the man known as Fabrizio Romano has come up and obviously had lots of things to say about this deal after it was broken by David Austin, Jacobs Ben, and Fabrizio Romano. He told us that United still maintains contact with the agents of Baleba, Carlos. They believe a deal is really complicated at the moment, no concrete progress yet. Now, this is what exactly a team like Brighton will obviously do. You know, when they know to it that they cannot really keep a player because they know they are really a player selling team, you know, they cannot keep these top quality players. They obviously start to put out stories in the media that that deal is complicated at the moment because they want to obviously send a message to Man United that where you are coming, it's not gonna be any easy. That's the message that we are really getting in through from the side of Brighton. Then Fabrizio added that Brighton will require a very big fee to sell Carlos Baleba, a player loved by Amorim. United maintains active contact. So Fabrizio Romano broke the story that if United is to sign Baleba, they have to break the bank. You understand? If United is to buy Baleba, they'll have to break the bank. And when they talk about breaking the bank, you have to look through the past history of Brighton and which player they went ahead to obviously sign expensively. And when you look at the history of Brighton, the most expensive player they've gone ahead to sell has been Moise Caicedo, and he has gone for 116 million pounds. You understand? So if you're talking of signing Baleba, you have to think in that range. You know, that's the big fee they'll obviously talk about. For example, even João Pedro went for 65 million pounds. You remember a player called Cucurella leaving the side of Brighton to Chelsea. I think they have to cough close to 65 million pounds in there for you. So they've gone ahead to sell their best players for that much. Even Leandro Trossard, I think, who was left with just, was it 1 year on his contract, they managed to sell him to Arsenal for 27 million pounds. I think the only player I thought that would have gone ahead obviously collect them more money and they didn't obviously utilize that was none other than McAllister, because McAllister crossed to Liverpool for just 35 million pounds. And I think it was really one of those sales that I think would have gone ahead to obviously be paid for more, because the player had gone ahead to have a fantastic season and Liverpool paid only 35 million pounds. But I think they looked at the level of the price or the profit they're really making from this guy and they're like, let us let him go. After all, Moise Caicedo was wanted by Arsenal, Man City, Man United and Arsenal and Chelsea. So they knew to it that they could reap big from that player, and that's why they went ahead to make a profit of close to 100 million pounds for the sale of Moise Caicedo. Remember, they bought him for less than 10 million pounds from Ecuador in there. So this team knows exactly how to obviously do such deals, and what turns out this deal to be very expensive is that Man United have gone ahead to come in late to obviously negotiate this deal. If United had gone ahead obviously come in early, I think maybe Brighton would have gone ahead to say we want such and such amount of money, and there would be time to negotiate. And obviously, Brighton would have gone ahead to get time to get in a replacement, and after the replacement, then they would have gone ahead to understand that the player can be let go when we've gone ahead to get maybe like £80 million, and then we obviously get a replacement. But right now, they have to quickly look in for a replacement because the player Baleba wants to join Man United, and that will call in for price because even the club that is really selling a midfielder to Brighton will understand that Brighton is going to sell a player expensively. And this guy came in through as one of the set of players who were brought in to replace Moise Caicedo. Ayari and Baleba are some of those that you have to look at and really appreciate on how good they are and how their talent is going to take them places into the mix. Now, Laurent Julians, who works in France, has come up and obviously has something to say about the price. And he works for ESPN, TNT Sport, RMSC, and very many others in there. So he has finally told us that high price that Fabrizio was talking about for Carlos Baleba. He has told us that Brighton have set an asking price of £120 million for clubs wanting to persuade a deal for Carlos Baleba. You understand? Now, Baleba, if you are to convert that, it adds up to £103 million or £104 million. Now, that's quite really a huge money for the club of Man United, having gone ahead to spend like £70 million on Benjamin Sesko, spent 76 onto Mbeumo, that is 146. We spent 63 onto a player known as Cunha. That is already £203 million. That means Man United has to come up and obviously spend another huge set of money, and it might go to £100 million. 300 million pounds. I've never seen Man United spend £300 million in a single season, and for this, they are going to spend it because the reason is written all over the wall. The Glazers, every time United is into the Champions League, they miss out on a lot of money. And they know to eat that. They want to sell this club in next 2 or 3 years to come, and they want to see to it that they obviously take it back to the glory days. And that's why you see to it that they brought in Sir Jim Ratcliffe to talk to the UK government and give them support to build the stadium. One, they went ahead to obviously renovate the Carrington. They are trying to obviously panel beat everything, and by the time everything is set, they would love to be one of the competitive clubs in the world, and they make some huge profit because if they are calling in for £7 billion for the sale of United in 2022, right? How much do you think they'll call up for, in the coming 3-4 years? They'll call in for like £20 billion as there will be a stadium, The club hopefully will obviously be back to the winning ways, and they'll call in for a lot of money. So they are really spending hugely because they want United to get back in the Champions League. That is it. And every time we've gone ahead to miss out on the Champions League, United has gone ahead to spend hugely to see to it really get back there. The problem is, who are you spending on? I do appreciate the signings of Cunha, Mbeumo, Baleba is a talented player, but the pressure that amount of money comes onto the head of Baleba. One will say, look at Moise Caicedo, he went in Chelsea and really did well. Can I tell you something? When you look at the players around Caicedo at Chelsea, they also made his suiting into the club of Chelsea very much easily. Look at Enzo Fernandez, you understand? Look at Romelu Lavia. Look at this other guy, Carl Palmer, you understand? Those players that he plays around are really making him better, you understand? So, at Man United, Baleba is coming to the midfield where he's obviously going to be where he's obviously gonna be having problems there for you, because Ugarte and Kobe Mainoo look like are the ready people to really welcome him. And if Baleba is 20, is he 19, 20 years, coming into the club to play with Kobe Mainoo, I really understand we who are purists for football will obviously enjoy it, but will the fans of Man United obviously have that patience to see to it that Baleba really gets to where he deserves to be? You know, players that have gone ahead to come in at Man United at huge money haven't gone ahead to obviously perform. You know, Pogba really tried. You know, you can talk about Di Maria tried, but tell me a player that went ahead and really paid for a lot of money that has gone ahead to come and really hit the ground running. You know, who exactly? Lisandro Martinez is one of the best performers in the last 2-3 seasons, but he never even hit 60 million pounds, and 60 million pounds is the new normal in this new competitive side of football. That is it. I'm talking about players that surpass 70 million. Rasmus Højlund, first season was lit, second season off totally. Mason Mount, 60 million pounds. You've gone ahead to say that he's really on and off. Look at Manuel Ugarte, same story. He hasn't obviously gone ahead to click on well with the club of Man United and his fellow players, though he really had some limited performances that were really great. So 120 million euros, that is 103 million pounds, I think is a lot of money. But for Baleba, I tell you this, he is quite a talent that he deserves the risk. Let's risk the money and let's get in Baleba and see how he'll obviously suit in well. Because for Brighton, they'll call in for that money and they'll get it. You know, Man City is also in there trying to obviously sign a player known as Baleba in there, because Rodri has gone ahead to obviously be an injury-prone player and he really went ahead to get a setback. You understand? So that is all about Baleba price revealed, and you can as well go into the comments section and tell me about the price of Baleba. 120 million euros, equivalent to 104 million pounds. One will tell you that if Chelsea paid 120 million euros for a player who was playing in Benfica, you know, though he was a World Cup winner and so on and so forth, in Enzo Fernandez, why not us go in for that? Because it has gone ahead to become the new normal for a good player. By the way, nowadays a good player starts from 70 million pounds to 100 million pounds plus. You understand? If you obviously get a legit player, that's the price range that you should be thinking about. And I'll be doing that video of who will win the rest of Baleba and of the rest of Baleba. Will it be Man United, or it will go ahead to be a side known as Man City in there for you, as Pep has hinted on really strengthening his squad more and more and more. So that is all about Baleba. And yesterday, but one, United went ahead obviously unveiled Carrington after they had spent close to 1.5 years as the facility was really closed down, and the main team was really using the women's side to obviously train in there at Carrington. Now, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, a man who spent 50 million pounds onto this through Ineos, said, following a review of the facility last year, we made a quick decision to invest significantly in the creation of a world-class performance environment for staff and players to reflect our ambition and vision for Man United. He went on to say, we are delighted with the outcome and are confident the new facility will play an important role in building a winning culture at the club. So, the facility is really very important. If you've gone ahead, obviously know the likes of Ronaldo, their comments, and very many others, that the way he left United, he left Carrington in 2009. That's how he found it when he returned. I think it were how many years later? Were they 12 years later? That's how he found it. So he was like, these facilities need to change, and obviously it's one of the things that I've gone ahead obviously change, and Ineos have gone ahead to work on it, and maybe this will even reduce on the injuries that we've gone ahead to get in here at the club of Manchester United, because the previous 2-3 seasons injuries have turned out to be injuries. And I think now with this new state of art of Carrington, a lot of players won't really get injured like they've always gone ahead to be before. So thank you very much for watching it through. That's all about Carrington, and we've already gone ahead to see what Carrington has been like in there for you. So from that, we obviously head into the last story to really call it quits for this video, as we prepare to obviously come live and really discuss more sports with you. Amorim today had something to say about David De Gea, a man that was really dislodged out of Man United in the era of a man known as Eric Ten Hag. And now, Ruben Amorim has said, a great goalkeeper, everyone loves him here, I can feel it. It's always the right time to come home, and he will be warmly welcomed. So, obviously, David De Gea was once the best goalkeeper in the world. I repeat it. He was once the best goalkeeper in the world. You understand? Because his shot-stopping technique was really unmatched if you knew what he was all about. It was unmatched, and he was one of those that you had to look at and really understand that there are players who can, there are goalkeepers who can obviously save the unsavable. But his shortcomings came in through when the goalkeeping department moved on so much from shot stopping to being a sweeper goalkeeper and ball playing goalkeeper. That's where things really went ahead, obviously not happen to him well. And I believe that if David De Gea had gone ahead, obviously see ahead as a wise man, he would have gone ahead to stay the goalkeeper of Man United, provided he was good with the ball on his feet. But because he was not that good with the ball on his feet, obviously the lad did obviously last in that era of Eric Ten Hag, because he really costed us some number of goals because of him being a bad shot stopper in there for you. So for De Gea, he has been welcomed hugely by the fans of Man United, and they really loved what really he did for the club. You know, he won the Premier League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, UEFA Europa League, Community Shield, and I think the only trophy that is missing in his cupboard was all about the UEFA Champions League. That is it. And the team of Man United never really granted him that chance to win it because of how disorganized it has always gone ahead to be. But I saw David De Gea, I saw Bruno Fernandes handing him something great in there to honor what he really did at Manchester United. And guess what? I think no goalkeeper at Man United has gone ahead to obviously last there and really have more games than him. And I think even he went ahead to beat Peter Schmeichel in the recent stat analysis that was really released. So he was a special breed of goalkeeper, but he's now at Fiorentina, and he looks good because he's a very good shot stopper into the mix. So guys, we call it quits for now. We call upon for your reactions onto the Baleba price revealed. What do you make about it? And so much more yet to become and really be unveiled to you, the people here onto this channel. We out. Bye bye. But your reactions are really hugely welcome in the comment section below.